My grandmother once told me I would never find a man if I stayed this messy. Found one, still married him, still messy. Sorry, Grandma. But here's the thing that I actually did fix. I was a messy person my whole life, 50 years, a pile in every room, the kind you don't let anyone touch. And 2 absurdly small daily rules ended it. Not a bin, not an app, not a system. 2 rules, I'm going to give you both, plus the reasons they work great together in about 2 minutes. And I didn't even know it then, but this ended up being the most important thing I did to get us ready for full-time travel. So if you've got a pile with your name on it, stay with me. Because if these work for me, I promise they'll work for you. For 50 years, I just thought this was who I was. In our old house, I had piles going on in multiple places. A counter, a bookshelf, an office drawer for backup. Some people are tidy. That's not me. That was the whole story I told myself. Here's what I never connected. I would be stressed, work all day, come home to a house that was also stressful. And it never once occurred to me that those 2 things were related. The house was quietly one more thing draining me, and I'd stopped even seeing it. So, real question here before we go further. Is there a room in your house right now that you've just stopped looking at? Hold on to that thought in your head. So, here they are. Rule 1, the 1-minute rule. If something takes less than a minute, you do it now, not later. Rule number 2, the nightly reset. 10 minutes before bed, everything goes back to where it belongs. That's it. That's the both of them. But stick with me and I will show you how I tricked myself into actually implementing them in my life. Now, I didn't invent these. I found them on minimalist content when I was researching for how to downsize our life for full-time travel. Smarter people have been teaching them for years. What I can tell you that they can't is what happens when a genuinely hopeless case actually uses them. Because on their own, these 2 rules seem almost too basic. But here's what I didn't realize at the time. They work wonderfully as a pair. Skip one and the second one becomes quietly harder. I found that out by accident, and it's the whole reason this finally stuck when nothing else ever did. The 1-minute rule is very simple. If it takes less than a minute, you don't wait. You don't add it to a list or a pile. You just do it. The problem is that was never really my instinct. I was always, I'll get to it, or quietly add it to one of my piles. So I needed a trick to override that. What worked was a tiny bit of mental math. Before I could talk myself out of it, I'd ask, how long would this task actually take? I bet that is 15 seconds. So not go clean it up, just how long really? Once I answered honestly, there wasn't an excuse left. Here's what that looks like in real life. Steve cooks more than I do, so most dishes left out are probably his. The other night, there was one dish in the sink, and I was like, didn't even say a word. I just gave him the look, and I put it in the dishwasher. He completely unbothered said, I would have gotten to it eventually. That appears to be our system now. He gets loving judgment. I get a clear counter. Everybody wins. So here's your version of the trick. Before you tell yourself later, or I was eventually going to get to it, ask how long it would really take and say that number out loud. That's 15 seconds. Once you've said it, the excuse is gone. That's the whole rule. Catch it small before it becomes a decision. I honestly catch myself looking at things and doing mental calculations. And 99% of the time, it's a do it now result. Why does that trick work with my brain? I haven't a clue, but a win's a win. Hey, real quick, did you know that according to the rule you just learned that hitting subscribe takes less than 60 seconds? So I think you're supposed to do it. I don't make the rules. I kind of do. Hit subscribe. Now back to it. The nightly reset is not deep cleaning. I'm not scrubbing anything. It's 10 minutes before bed where everything goes back to its original spot. Cushions straightened, counters clear, the dishwasher has been run, emptied, and put away. Visual order. That's it. Here's why the 10-minute cap actually matters. In our old house, our kitchen sink sat right out in the open on the island for everyone to see. There was no hiding it. Most nights, the reset was pretty easy. But every so often, dishes would just pile up 2 or 3 days straight, and I would hit a wall. My brain would just shut off when I would look at the pile. I couldn't even start. Watch for this yourself. If you ever hit a night where the pile is just too big for your brain and it just quits, that's not a willpower problem. That's the nightly reset trying to do a job it was never built to do. It cleans up after the fact. It can't stop the piles from building in the first place, which is exactly why the first rule really matters. And this is the part that changed everything for me. These 2 rules aren't a menu you pick from. They are a loop. Skip the 1-minute rule during the day and the nightly reset stops being 10 minutes. It becomes the wall you can't get over. Do the 1-minute rule consistently and nightly reset stays exactly what it's supposed to be. Quick, easy, almost automatic. So if you're only going to start with 1, start with the 1-minute rule. It's smaller. And once that is a habit, the nightly reset barely feels like a chore at all. It's been over a year now, and I genuinely cannot remember our last 2 or 3 day kitchen pileup. It just doesn't happen anymore. But I need you to hear the real change because it isn't about a tidy counter. And what I actually got back was so much bigger. I used to come home from a hard day at work and the house was just added stress. Now I walk in the door and feel my shoulders drop. Our home became an actual sanctuary. Steve and I sometimes would just sit together in the living room and think, why does this feel so good? Even filming this, 2 minutes after I'm done, this room will look like I was never filming. Everything will be charged and back in its proper place. That's what I want for you. And here's the part I didn't see coming. This was never just about a tidy apartment. Once we're traveling full time, we won't have one home base. We'll be in a different space, different layout every few weeks. If I don't have a system for where things go, when I unpack, our stuff is just going to explode into whatever room we're in. We'll be hunting for things, or worse, leaving them behind. So these 2 rules aren't just for today. They're the muscle I'm going to need the second home stops being a fixed place. So tell me in the comments, which pile is yours? The kitchen counter, the chair, the drawer you won't open in front of guests, the exercise bike that is now a clothing rack. I want to know I'm not the only one. And if you want the other half of this, the part where I actually got rid of what created those piles in the first place, that's the downsizing video, and that's the honest one. Go watch that next, and I'll see you there. What? Just gotta wait for the loud car. It's gonna get louder in just a second. Do I know my neighbors or do I know my neighbors?